Welcome to my latest stamping and creating. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Fiona Whitten and I'm an independent demonstrator based in Wokingham in the UK. The last stamping and creating event, which was a couple of weeks ago, I shared with you how to decorate some of the C6 acetate envelopes so that you could send your handmade cards as gifts. So these are the ones that I shared and the pictures are up on my Facebook. So this is the one that I actually made on the day, so it has DSP wrapped around it and then we made the tag. This one is a lot simpler in that it just has a front and a back cover with a belly band and then has a focal point with some ribbon going around it. And then this one is even simpler because the DSP is just simply cut, placed inside the box, belly band and a ribbon. So those were the ones that I shared last time using the acetate boxes, because I have a heck of a load of made cards from this year because of doing these events here on Facebook and classes and things like that. And I just wanted to share and give them as gifts. If you find that you don't have any of those and you need to make a gift quickly, so I'm going to share with you today a quick way of making up a box and also some quick and simple note cards. Note cards are great simply because they're all done for you. They're already pre-cut. So you have your note cards and they come with envelopes. Come in a pack like this, so you get 20 note cards and 20 envelopes. So you don't have to sit and cut and anything like that, so it's all done for you, which is great. And then the other thing I'm using is a mini paper pumpkin box. So they come flat packed like this, and you get a pack of 10. And they're easy to put together. You don't actually need to glue anything, which is great. And they are food safe. So it should be, I'm sure it said it here on somewhere that it's, yes, it says it's food safe. So this is why, and when I turn it over in a minute, you'll see, in fact, actually I'll show you now. So you'll see that it's coated on the inside of the box. So you can put cookies, bits of cake or whatever that you want to. So you don't have to use this for cards. Obviously, I'm a card maker. I am not a cook. I do cook, but I don't bake. So all my boxes tend to have cards and things in it. So this is just something that I prepared earlier. So and I'll show you and give you the directions for those in a minute. So being Christmas, people don't necessarily want to receive a box of Christmas cards as a gift. Hopefully most people have already made or are in the process of finishing and making their cards, and they'll be going in the post soon. I'm almost done. I've just got to write the ones that I need to send, and then once that's done, I then know how many more I need to make. I'm not quite a last minute person, but sometimes it's been known that I'll be making family cards and things on Christmas Eve. But as I said, I like to send, when I send cards and things as a gift, I like to send them so that they are, can be used throughout the year. So obviously the main ones being birthday, thank you cards, the occasional congratulations. So I'm actually going to use the Peaceful Moments stamp set because that pretty much has everything that you will need throughout the year. So we have congratulations, happy birthday, thank you, wishing you happiness, thinking of you. I mean, some of these don't necessarily want the whole sentiment. So if I was to use this particular stamp here, the thinking of you with all my heart, I might not necessarily want with all my heart part, so I would get a piece of washi tape and blank that off before I inked it, and then obviously remove the washi tape before I stamped it, otherwise I'll end up with a bit of a mess. But these are nice because they have two different fonts in the sentiments. Well, not everything, obviously the thank you, but happy birthday does, and most, but not congratulations, because obviously it's all one word. So that's the stamp set I'm going to use. The image that I'm going to use is from the hand-penned Petals stamp set. So you'll find both of these, stamp sets in the annual catalogue, not the mini catalogue. So I'm going to be using that, and I'm going to be really brave. So this is not something I've tried, but I've been wanting to try it for ages. So this could be a huge success or a complete failure. And I'm going to give the blender brushes a go. As you can see, I have used them, but not an awful lot. Normally, I mean, I like colouring my images with my Stampin' blends like this, but the problem with the Stampin' blends is that the colour goes through, which is fine if you're adding this as a layer, but if you're just stamping and colouring on a single layer, you really don't want or need the colour to be showing through on the other side, otherwise you've then got to line your card. So I'm going to use an alternative. So you could use blending brushes, you could use your watercolour pencils, you could use your ink pads and a blender pen, you can use a watercolour brush, you can use your Wink of Stella to pick up ink and colour that way. So there's all sorts of things that you can do, but as I said, don't use your Stampin' blends if you're just doing a single layer card, because you really don't want to be able to see through on the back, and that would be a shame if you did that. So right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out an image. So I think I'm going to use that image like so, and then I just need to kind of figure out where I want to put my ink. So I'm going to get, that was neutrals, but you're probably not supposed to really do that to mark and mix them up, but I'm going to have to get some new ones anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. So I've got a piece of scratch paper. Obviously your grid paper is good for that too. So you just pick up on your blending brush, tap off, rub off, and then slowly add it to your card front. So it's just starting to take the colour. And you don't need to push hard. I found that out myself. So just, and obviously the more you add, the darker it will go. So now you can really see the colour starting to come on. So the colour I'm using here is Highland Heather. I think I'm going to use some mint macaron for my greeny blue. Let's move that out of the way for a second. I'll put that with it. So some of this, I think once I get my brush full of the colours, it will be a lot easier to do, because at the moment I'm still building up the colour on the brush, but it's slowly coming. And it's really up to you as to how dark you want to take it. I think I might just put a bit more Highland Heather on. think that's enough. As I said, I only want a subtle colour. So I put that out of the way. Now I'm going to stamp in black. So I'm going to use my tuxedo black ink pad. Now the hand penned petals stamp set is a photopolymer one, so it means that's clear, so it doesn't have as much give on it as the cling stamps. So for that reason, it's always good to be able to stamp on a slightly softer surface. So I want most of my flowers up in the Highland Heather area, and obviously the leaves preferably in the other area. So that is a very subtle need to fold the card, and then if you want to add a sentiment, you can add one on here, or just simply leave it as it is. I quite like that one blank. If I was going to add a sentiment, I might actually want to put it on another piece of card and layer it. Obviously, the more layers you have on your cards, then the less I should say that you will get inside your. I was going to put a bit more of this on, I think, on that, and really highlight that particular flower. That's that one, and then the mint macaron. I think I'm going to highlight some of these leaves a bit more. So there we go, so that's one card. Now of course you don't have to stamp an image, you could just stamp a sentiment, so that's what I'm going to do on my next one. So my next card, let's make sure that I'm not going to use my Highland Heather, but I am going to use some Full Party and some mint macaron, and also some soft sea foam. So I'm going to start with my soft sea foam, I think, and I'm just simply going to add that to the bottom of my card, like so. Let's just see it coming out now. And then I'm going to add some, I think I'll go mint macaron next. So I'm going from lighter to dark, and that way I don't really need to worry about too much about getting all the ink off from the previous colour. You don't need to clean your brushes, just simply take it so that it's on your scratch paper. And now I'm going to go for the Pool Party. Now I've tried tapping the ink on, and I've found that for me that doesn't seem to work. I don't know, maybe I'm just not practiced enough, but I have found that by just simply brushing the bristles across the top of the ink pad, that I get a better result with the colour. I'm just going to close these up so that I don't end up with my... Now, so I'm just going to stamp a happy birthday on here. I'm just sticking to keep this simple because you can then use it for male or female. Obviously, if you decided that you wanted to do this with pinks, then you wouldn't necessarily want to send it to a guy. I don't know. My husband wears pink shirts, so I guess he might not mind having a pink card. But anyway, so that's it's an ombre. So we have pool party, mint macaron, and we have soft sea foam on that. I'm not sure that you can see it too well in this light. I've been playing with my lights in the vague hope that I can get rid of a lot of the shadows, but I think sometimes it's not such a good idea. Right, let's see, time for one more card, I think. So I've done 2 with the blending brushes. And now this time I'm going to actually stamp my sentiment in first, because then I know where that is. Oops. Oh, I think that's good. And then I'm going to use, let's see, how does that look on top of that? That will be fine. Make sure that the image was not too big for the note card. I think this will be fine. Oops, got a mini dimensional backing there. So I'm going to put that on, let's see which way. That way, I think. Kind of curl it around the happy birthday, like so. Make sure, press it down good and proper to make sure that the image is going to come out. That's good. And this time I'm just going to use my blending brushes again, but I'm just going to stick with doing the flowers, because at the end of the day it's up to you. You don't have to use your blending brush on the whole image. You could just keep it to the one bit that you really want to highlight. Like this. So I'm going to make that one a bit lighter. So I'm just going to make these ones coloured as well, but they're going to be slightly paler than the one in the middle, because that's the one that I really want to have stand out. Like so, I think. Oh, I missed that one. Heck. So that's that. So I have 3 cards. As I said, I've got the envelopes already because they come with this. So you can, if you want to, you can stamp your envelopes, you can stamp the insides. I'm just going to leave them. Actually, you know what? I think I will stamp that one. And I'll have to use that as well because I don't really want the image on my pad, even though I know it already is from various other things that I've done. So what's going on this week? Okay, so starting 11 o'clock last night, we have free shipping on all orders over £35. So that's going on until 10:59 this evening. I know it's a really weird time, but that's the time it's going on to, because we're linked to the European website, and they're obviously an hour ahead of us, so it was a 24 hours. So anything you can add to your shopping list. So it doesn't need to be current, it could be anything in the clearance rack. Obviously, at the moment we have the last chance list for items in the current July to December mini catalogue. And then that one, what am I going to do with that one? I think I might just leave that as a plain envelope. So I have 3 cards. So yes, so last chance list. So there's things on that are available with up to 50% off, which is a bargain. And then there's some things which are retiring, but so it's the bundles that are retiring, but they will continue next year in the July to December mini catalogue, but as individual items. So it's worth looking at those if it's something that you really like, but couldn't make up your mind as to whether you wanted it or not. Give it another look, and just double check, because I'd hate for you to decide next year that you do want it after all, and then miss out on the 10% discount. So I've cut some paper from the, let's see, what is it? Can never remember what these things are called. I should know all these off by heart, but there's just so much. So it's the hand pen designer series paper, and I'm just keeping it simple and using the striped pool party paper. So I have my box. So this is the outside of the box because it's not glossy, so that's the outside. You can push out these little bits here because that's where these tabs are going to go. So I said you don't actually need to glue the box together. It will hold itself together. And then you need to sit and look at it for a second and just figure out what's the top and what's the sides. So this is the top. And the reason I say that is because it has these flaps on here, which when you fold the box, it will tuck inside. So that's your front. Okay. These go inside the box, so you are not going to be decorating those, but you are going to be decorating these bits. So I've got my top, I've got my back, and I've got my front. So those are the 3 bits that you want to decorate on the outside, and then these 2 bits here are going to go, so these will be the sides. So I'll give you all, I will give you all the cutting instructions for this, so that'll get posted on the Facebook page. And why I just put the lid back on the glue, because I actually need to use it. Personally, I like to put my box, decorate my box, and then put it together. Simply because it's a lot easier to glue things onto flat surfaces than it is to try and glue it onto a surface that's already folded up and everything. So you need to put your paper on like so, and then once you've done that, which I know I haven't quite finished doing yet, you need to make sure that all the folds on the box have been folded. So you can see where the score lines are. So that's where you need to make sure everything is folded. Last 2 pieces to go on. Try and get them lined up. I'm just going to turn that around so that I can see a bit better. Now the reason that these two pieces have got the stripes going up and down as opposed from side to side is that it's a continuation of the stripes, and you'll see in a minute when I actually put the box together. Obviously, you don't have to do the same as I've done. If you've just got a very random pattern, it makes it a lot easier because you can just cut things at will. I kind of get a bit funny about things at times, and that's just one of them. Right, so I've got all my paper glued on, and now I need to make sure that everything is folded and burnished. So I've got my bone folder. And these need to be folded. You don't necessarily want to burnish this particular bit because it should kind of have a square top. So that does need to be burnished though, as does that, and that, and that. And then the part. It doesn't take too long, and then don't forget these two folds here. The last thing you need is to start folding, trying to get your box together, and then realise that actually you haven't done the two middle bits. So okay, everything I think has now been burnished. So as I said, that's the top, and then these are my two sides. And that's going to be the inside front. So you need to make sure that these flaps here, actually I need to turn that back on itself for a minute so you can actually see. So these two flaps need to go inside the box, and then that simply folds down, and the two pieces here pop into those holes, the things that you've poked out, like so, and then the box simply closes like that, and then these two pieces pop into here. So they get hidden away, like so. So there's the box. Quite simple to do. And then I'm going to add that flower and some bits and pieces to the top. I haven't decided. I did have some ribbon here somewhere and some rhinestones and things, and this is some smoky slate ribbon. So you can obviously decorate, put ribbon and things on it. You don't have to. You also need to remember, if you are going to put ribbon on, make sure everything's inside the box before you actually close it up. So those are the 3 cards that I've made with their envelopes. I do have a couple of extra ones I can put in. These are upcoming new cards and paper, so those can go in. So that's 5 in there. You could probably get another couple in there quite easily, so those will fit in there quite nicely. Again, as I said, put those 2 bits in there like so. I'm going to add this. I think I might just put some ribbon on the top. Maybe not. Problem is I don't actually have any ribbon at the moment that will coordinate with these colours. So you know what, I am just going to simply put that on with some dimensionals, which For once I haven't hidden, I know where they are. Small wonders. So I'm just going to put, actually I'm going to use some minis as well because I want to make sure that this is on well and truly. Put that on those leaves. Oops, put one in the middle I think. Don't normally go quite so mad with my dimensionals, but I just want to make sure that this one is well and truly stuck on. Like so. Just going to put it at an angle. Like that. No, does that have anything like for you? No, so I'm not going to put a sentiment on. What I am going to do though is put some iridescent rhinestones. So these are one of the new embellishments in the January to July 2022 mini catalogue. They come as a pack of, let's see how many, 200 in various sizes. So there's 4mm, 5mm, and these are the 6mm ones, so obviously they're quite large. But they're really the only ones that I've got left. We used a lot of them this past weekend when I had an acorn craft event. So, and I'm sure that these will also make an appearance at some point at Card in a Cuppa. So that's my finished box. It's very simple. Just decorated with some double-sided paper. Obviously you can stamp all over it if you wanted to. It's really up to you. Don't forget today's free shipping. Should also add that with COVID and customs issues and things that is the global shipping issues that everyone's experiencing at the moment, not just Stampin' Up, I would strongly suggest that if there is things that you need for Christmas, then you either place an order today or tomorrow, because there's no guarantee. In fact, there's no guarantee ever that it will ship and be with you before Christmas, but it's more likely that it would be if you ordered today or tomorrow. If you leave it after that, I think you really will not see it before Christmas. I'd like to say you would, but I cannot guarantee it. So I think that's it for today. I will get the dimensions for the cutting instructions for the paper up on the Facebook page once I've finished. I'll do something extra on here. I think I might put just a for you sentiment on there. And then I'll take some pictures and I'll also put those up on the Facebook page. So thank you for watching. The recording will pop up on Facebook later once it's saved, and also go up on YouTube when I get a chance to upload it. So take care, and I'll see some of you next week at Card in a Cuppa at Home Grange. All right, bye.